All right, welcome everybody. This is Chris Silveda with Simple Listing Solutions, and I've got some powerful new technology to share with you guys. We just bolted a turbocharger onto your stealth system, as if it didn't have enough already. I just spent the last week up in Northern California working with some team members on some really great new stuff for you guys, and so I'm excited to share a big piece of it with you right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to log in, just like I were an agent, like one of you. I'm going to log into my back office over here, and I'll just type in my magic words over here, and it's going to take us right into my back office. Okay, and I'm going to click on the link that says View Your Website, so you guys can see the website that I've just launched this new application on, the new application that you can all use now. Okay, so here's my demo site over at SanDiegoSellShort.com. And I want you to notice that on the probate page, and you all have this page, whether you're working from the short sale template stealth system right now, or maybe you've already converted yours over to the new hot market template because the short sales have all dried up, like this one. This is the new hot market template. Right, this one says, now you can rest assured your Forest Ranch home sells for top dollar with a powerful marketing strategy designed for markets just like the one we're in right now. So I'm no longer really talking about short sales over here. This is a whole different system. I'm using this system over here now to work a farm area, okay, to work get divorce listings, get probate listings, work a farm area, right, expired listings, FSBO listings. But right now I'm going to show you something else. You guys already know all of this stuff. On your probate page, how you've got this form right here that says get a cash offer on your probate property today, right? And this is a page that you have available to use on your website. You can just click and drag it over. It's a template page that I put together for you. Well, I want you to know something about this little form right here, this form that says get a cash offer on your probate property today. You now have the ability to make any form that you want, okay, give it any headline you want, ask any, for any information that you want, first name, last name, email, phone number, birthday, address, zip code, city, state, how many, are they working with an agent, what time frame do they plan on moving. You can ask anything you want. You can create your own forms, give them your own headline, ask anything you want. You can insert images into the form to make the form nice and pretty. And then you could even write email drip campaigns and connect them to the form. So your stealth website just tripled in power. Okay, you don't need to wait for me to create pages for you. You can dream up pages. You already know that. But now you can not only insert video into the pages that you create and insert images into the pages that you create, now you can insert form boxes and you can create the form. Okay, so I just created a new page over here on my demo site at SanDiegoSellShort.com, and it's called Executive Home Rentals. And before I show you the form that I've created, I'm going to actually share a system with you too. This is a great system that I used here in Southern California, and you could use the same system depending on where you are in the country. Right? If you're down in Florida, you could do this. You could do this in Orange County. You could do this in Chicago. You could do it in Boston, New York. But what I do is I advertise high-end executive home rentals. Okay, and I make it clear that the homes that I have, that I help people rent, start at $4,500 per month. And they go all the way up to $25,000 a month, and that's because those do exist here in San Diego. Okay, and I know that there's executives all across the country in Boston and New York and Chicago and Miami and Atlanta, Georgia, and up in San Francisco and all over the place that may be transferred to San Diego. Okay, so it's very easy for me to create and place Craigslist ads in all those cities for rentals, for executive home rentals in San Diego County, and get business. And I've gotten business that way, and I've made, not only have I made great money doing that, but more than that is I've met powerful people that became advocates to great clients right now, in fact, okay, through that process, because the clients that came to me that could pay $4,500, $5,000, $5,500, $6,000 a month in rent, they tended to be, well, they were higher income earners, okay, and they tended to be upper level executives in the local companies here in San Diego, right? Some of them were, like one guy was a CFO for a company that manufactured sunglasses that you wear when you're looking at your computer screen. Never heard of it before, but they were making millions, and he was a CFO. And so that's the sort of people that I would meet through these Craigslist ads, okay? So I create a page called Executive Home Rentals. All right, and I made a little masthead for it over here that I uploaded that says, find something to rent in San Diego. Beach, ranch, downtown. That's a Post-it note right there. Right, I could show you guys how to do this. It's really easy. And then I created a form. Look at this form I created. It says, I find you the perfect home and handle all the paperwork, so all you have to do is move in. And then I ask them for their first name, last name, email address, phone number. How many bedrooms do you require? What's your rental range? 4,500 to 5,500? Right? There's nothing below that because I'm not interested. Right? I'll let you guys know on a $4,500 or $5,000 a month rental, somebody signs a 12-month lease agreement. I think I made like $1,800, and it took all of about, I don't know, not much time at all. Right? That's $1,800. But not only that, client for life, because the guy's like, listen, you're sharp. I really like you. Thanks for helping us find this property. You did everything you said you would do. And when our lease is up, we're going to be looking to purchase. And you know what somebody purchases when they can pay $5,000 or $6,000 a month for rent without even thinking about it? Right. So that's the game really that I was in. I want to make some gas money and some good drive around town money on these high-end rental people, and I'm going to turn them into clients for life, and I'm going to tap their networks. Right. That's the system over here. So again, I built this page called Executive Home Rentals, and I just built my first form. It wasn't very difficult. And again, I created these questions: first name, last name, email address, phone number, how many bedrooms, what's your rental price range, can you sign a 1-year lease agreement? You know, they can click on yes or no. When do you need to move? 30 to 60, 90 days. They can just check. Right? Would you prefer beach living, ranch living, downtown? And then what else is important? Question mark. They could type in as much as they want right here and send me a message, and then just click yes, send me rentals matching my exact criteria. Right. So I wrote this headline. I created what these fields would require. Right. I even decided yes, send me rentals matching. I created that little headline on there, and then I inserted this image and this text. And this text is just testimonials. It says Chris promised and then delivered. He found us a lovely home within a reasonable commute time of my new job and gave us a tour of all the local fun spots. Highly recommend his real estate services in San Diego. Right, that's from Marty and Denise. And then it says, thanks, Chris. You took all the sting out of the home finding process so that all we were left with was the honey. How'd you do that? Alexia and Claire. And then it says, hey, when the lease is up, we intend to purchase, so please don't go too far. You really performed exactly like you said you would, despite our changing schedule and requirements. And for that, we say thank you, Chris. Right? And that's from Oliver and Patricia. So I got some testimonials in here and a nice image of an executive style home right here. Right? And then look down here. It says for rent, Santa Luz, 5-bedroom, 5 baths, plus office with amazing swimming pool and backcountry views available now. Right? $5,500 per month. Right? Look, just properties. Right? Now, I made this page, and it's very easy because the template, this template down here, like all these things, this is already created. You guys already have this. It's just pop in a picture and type in the words. Okay. What I did was I added this form above those templates now, right? Gave it a headline, and I popped in a masthead. Isn't this a great looking page? Now, do you know what I could do? Is I could go very quickly and easily create a Craigslist ad for executive home rentals in Southern California, letting people know that I specialize in the communities of La Jolla, Del Mar, Solana Beach, Rancho Santa Fe, Santa Luz, Fairbanks Ranch, Coronado Island, right? All the high-end communities. And rental homes, you know, from a 1-month lease to a 12-month lease agreement, you know, rents start at $4,500 per month and go all the way up to $25,000 per month, depending on what you're looking for, right? I can find you the property, do all the paperwork, and handle all the negotiations so that all you have to do is move in, right? I create those Craigslist ads and run them all over the country. They work. Okay, so anyway, that's just a system, and that's not what I wanted to tell you about. What I wanted to tell you about was this new form, because, you know, that's just one idea for a form. Again, another idea for a form is over here on the probate page. Right. So are you guys creating pages? Are you creating your own pages, and now that you know you can create forms to say whatever you want, right? Tie them to an automated drip campaign. Does that got you thinking? Has that got your gears spinning? I hope it does. So how did I create this form over here on my executive home rentals page? I'll show you what I did. I logged into my back office, right? I came over here and I logged into my back office, which looks like this. All right, so let's close that. And so from my back office, there's a link down here that says Customize Website Forms Beta. Right, we're beta testing this right now. It's going to improve along as time goes by, but don't worry about that. Customize Website Forms. So I'm going to click on that, just like I did. And let's log back in here to the back office. So I'm going to hide my screen here for just 1 second. And the system logged me out here because I've been talking to you guys for so long and not doing anything with it. But that's okay, because I'm going to log right back in right now. So Now I'm logged back into my back office. So again, I'm going to click on this link, Customize Website Forms. Okay, and it brings me to this page. And so I'm going to say Add a Form. Okay, so what do I want my form name to be? And then what do I want my title text to be? Let's go back and look at the one that I already created. I called it Rental Finder, right? I called it Rental Finder. That's what the form name was. But if we go over here, right, this is on my Executive Home Rentals page, right? So let's add a form, and let's call this Expired Info. Expired Info. Okay, and then title text is going to be, yes, send me expired listing history in my neighborhood. Of my neighborhood, right? Let's say that, of my neighborhood. Hey, I kind of like this idea. Of my neighborhood. All right, so that's what that's going to say. And then submit button text, we're going to leave that at submit. Now, I haven't created an email campaign for it yet, so I'm just going to leave that at none. Okay, now confirmation page. So in other words, when people click submit, it could take them to a page that says, hey, thank you, I've received your information, and I'll be replying to you right away. Now, I haven't created that page yet either. That's very easy to do. Right? So right now, I'm gonna make my confirmation page. I'll just have them for the moment end up at my contact information page, right? Contact us. Okay, and then header and footer, I'm just going to leave that alone. I'm just going to leave that to say header and footer. Okay, layout, layout list or layout table. Well, list is more spacious, table is more compact, right? You can always just click on the little question. It tells you what the little field represents. And then if I want to, change the color of my background, like look, you see how this form has this background color, right? This is where I would create it, right here where it says background color. I would just drag this X, right, and put it wherever I want the background color of my form to be. So if I want my background form to be, maybe this color, I just leave it right there, and then we're done. So now that's the background color of my form. Now the width and the image. Okay, so I can click on the question width of the form. You can leave it blank for the most compact width, meaning don't do anything with it, right? And generally, you're not going to do anything with this unless you're really getting into customizing your page and you want it laid out just perfectly, then you can do that, right? You can play with it, right? Or you can just leave that alone. Now, image. Okay, let's go back and look at my page. I've got an image here. And in fact, when I say I've got an image here, you might look at this and say, oh yeah, he does, there's his image. But you'd be wrong. That's really not the whole image. Let me erase my drawings. The image here is actually this entire white space. This is one image, okay? I took a picture like this and I laid it out in Microsoft Word and I typed some things under it, right? And then I took a picture of the entire thing using my GreenShot, okay, screen capture software that you guys all have access to in your back office for free. Again, I used my GreenShot screen capture software that you have available in your back office for free to take a picture of all of this text underneath this photograph and turn it into one image, right? One image. So that's one image. Okay. We need to be really clear about that because I'm going to show you something. All right. So here's the form that I created. Let's go back here and let's talk about right here where it says image, right? So if I want to put an image on my expired information page, and I do, I'm going to have an image to put right here, an image URL. So here's what I would do, Control T. I'm going to say images, stressed out home owner. Right, let's see what that gives us. Images for stressed out homeowner. Okay, so here's some images of stressed out homeowners. And what I'm going to do again is I'm going to use my GreenShot screen capture software that you have in your back office. And I'm just going to click on it because I've already downloaded it. And I'm going to click Capture Region. And I think I'm going to take a picture right here of these stressed out homeowners. I'm going to just take a picture of this picture. and I'm going to say File, Save As, Expired Picture, Expired Pic, right? And I'll just click Save. Okay, so you guys see what I just did? I went on the internet and I just clicked for a picture of a stressed out homeowner and I found one. It's pretty easy to do. All right, it's not, anybody can do that. It was free. All right, so let's go back to where we are now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click Menu, and I'm going to have to go over here to where it says Upload Images, right? I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to upload an image, right? So I'm going to say Choose File. Now I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to say stressed, right? What do we call that homeowner? Wasn't he a stressed out homeowner? No, he wasn't a stressed out homeowner. He was a homeowner though, wasn't he? Homeowner? No, he wasn't. All right, what we're going to have to do here is we're going to say, boy, I can't remember the image I just saved. How's that? So this is going to be the, oh, here we go, expired pic. That's what we called it, expired pic. Open. All right, and then I'm going to say upload. All right, so there's that picture of the stressed out homeowners that I just got from the internet, right? And here's the link. I've converted this picture into a URL image, so I'm going to right-click on this URL image and say copy link address. Copy it. All right, and now I'm done. I uploaded the image that I want to have on my form page, and I converted it into a URL. And I just copied that URL. So now I'm going to go back here to my menu. All right, menu, and I'm going to go back to the form, copy, customize website form, and oh, you know what? That form that we were creating, hey guys, this is my second time going through it. We didn't save it, so it's gone. So we're going to say add a new form, and again, we're going to call it expired. We'll just call it expired. Title text will be expired listing history. Okay. Expired listing history. In fact, we'll call it find out who else this has happened to. Perfect. Find out who else this has happened to. That's what we're going to say. Right? And then submit button is going to be submit. We're going to change the color background here a little bit like that, right? And then the width, we're going to leave that alone. And then image, I just uploaded it and I copied the URL. So I'm just going to paste it right in. And I'm just going to say submit. Okay, submit. And by the way, justification left or right? How do I want it? I'm going to say left justification, and we're going to click submit. Okay. So now I'm starting to create a form called Rental Finder. Right? And we've started the process, right? If we click edit, you can see everything that we've done. We named the form Rental Finder, and for the title text, which is this field up here, right on my rental page, the title text says, I find you the perfect home and handle all the paperwork, right? The title text on my expired page is going to say something completely different, right? It says, what's the title text going to say on this new page? Let's see, customize website forms, expired. Our title text says, find out who else this has happened to in your neighborhood, right? You'll be shocked. I was going to say you'll be shocked to discover what happened next, but yeah, I'm not going to. I want to move on with this process. So we're going to say submit. Okay. So we know that our expired page, if we click on edit, we know how we've got it set up. We named the form expired, and the title is going to say whatever we created. And then we're going to leave the submit button to just say submit. We could change that. We could say click here, or push me, but we'll just leave it at submit. We don't have an email campaign created yet, so we're going to leave that at none. Okay. We're not going to mess around with a confirmation page or the error page unless we create a confirmation page. Okay, and we can do that very easily. I'll show you that in another video. Okay, for the layout, we're just going to leave it at list unless we want to get specific. And for the background color, we could do whatever we'd like. Okay, for the width, we're going to leave that blank unless we want to get specific. And then for the image, we just need to upload it into our back office, convert it into a URL, then take that URL over here to this edit form section and paste it in. And then we need to be sure we click submit. Okay, and now we've started the process. Now, how do I add all these fields like first name, last name, email address, phone number, all of those great things? Well, it's simple. What I'm going to do is on my expired page, I'm going to click fields. All right, and watch this. Okay, I had to kind of read this myself as I just created it, but again, I walked myself through the process and I just created this form. And I think doing it again, I could make it look even better, right? But here's what we're going to do. Okay, so field number 1, right? What do we want to ask for? Probably first name. That's usually always the first thing we ask for, right? In field number 1, first name. And so that's going to be a text box, okay? As opposed to radio buttons or a checkbox or a select box, it's going to be a text box, okay? This is a text box, okay? This is a radio button, and this is a select field. Okay, so I'm going to put in a text box for the first name. All right, so I'm just going to type in first name. Field type is going to be text box. Now, field values, I don't remember what that means. Oh, okay, there's a slash between words if we're going to put in different things in there. So we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so I'm just going to click, is that required? Is it a required field? Do they have to give me their first name? I'm going to say yes. Okay, and then I'm going to click submit. All right, now it's going to take me to what else do I want? Well, I want last name. And I've already got that in there, so I'm going to say last name. Same thing, text box, and I'm going to say, oh, that's not necessarily required. Submit. Now, the next thing I'm going to ask for is email address. Okay, email address. And then that'll be a text box. And is that required? Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to say submit. All right. And so far, that's what I've done over here on this other form. First name, last name, email address. Do you want their phone number? If you do, ask for it, right? Phone number. Just ask for it. Now, I don't recommend asking for a bunch of stuff unless it's mandatory to the process, right? If you're providing value to the people, they'll give you the information. If you're not, they won't. Okay, so phone number. I'm going to say that's not required, and I'm going to say submit. Okay, so far it's going to be looking like this. And then I put in how many bedrooms do you require, right? Rental range. That's when I switch to buttons. So let's do something here. We got first name, last name, email address, phone number. We're asking them, you know, they want to know the expired listing history of their neighborhood, so we need to know property address, right? Okay, and yes, that's mandatory. Submit, right? And we're going to say, should we ask them for how many days on market? No, that's not really important to the process. But just to create an example, let's do that. How many days was your home on the market? That's a question. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say radio buttons. Okay, so I'm going to use these things over here, right here for where it says rental range, these little buttons. Okay, so I selected radio buttons. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, it's expired, so it was probably, let's say, 60 to 90 days. I doubt it, right? But now in this field values, this is the first time we're doing anything over here. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to put space, slash bar, space. And then I'm going to say 90 to 120 days. Then I'm going to go space, slash bar, space. Then I'm going to say 120 to 180 days, and I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, and I'm going to click submit. All right, and then let's do this. Let's say, would you like a phone call? Would you like a phone call? Question mark. And then I'm going to say select box, right? Select box. And we're going to say yes slash no. Whoops. Yes. Yeah, there it's already in the field. Yes slash no. And by the way, you don't have to put a space up here between the slash. You just have to put a slash, though. Between fields, there's always got to be a slash. I put the space because I don't know. Just because. Okay. So now I'm going to click Submit, right? And I think we're going to leave it at that. We're going to say we're done. Form saved successfully. All right. Now let's go back to menu. So where do we want to put that form, right? Well, I've got a page over here called, on my website, do I have Forest Ranch expired listings? Yes, I do. I'm going to put it right here between my headline and between this first field. Okay, how am I going to do that? This is interesting. This is interesting. Watch this. Let's go back to Customize Website Forms. Okay, and I just need to remind myself what I named it, right? I named it Expired. Okay, the reason I need to remind myself that is because I'm going to show you something here. Customize Website Content. Let's go over here to my Executive Home Rentals page and say Edit. You see this little thing right here? There's little brackets and it says Form Rental Finder. Okay, that's what we need to do. We need to write in Form Expired, right, in order to get the form to appear, right? So watch what I'm going to do. Let's just go back out of here. We don't need to be here. Menu. Okay, and let's get rid of my drawing. Erase all drawings. Okay, so I've got this field over here called now Customize Website Forms Beta. I just created a page called Expired. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Menu, Customize Website Content. I'm going to go to My Expired page. Right, and my expired page is going to be Executive Welcome Mat Recent Expired Listings. Edit. Okay, so here's my expired page, and I'm going to put my cursor right here, and then I'm going to hit Enter and come down a line, and then I'm going to put bracket, and I'm going to write Form, and then put those two little dots right there, whatever you forget what those are called in the moment, and I'm going to write Expired, and then I'm going to close it with another bracket, just like that. And then guess what? We're done. I'm going to click Submit. Right? Submit. Now, if all is working perfectly, I should reload this page right now, and we should have a form here. Let's see. Drumbeat. Yep. Look at that form. Now it's all in bold. I could go back and undo that. I don't know why that's in bold. Probably because I had my cursor on bold, but that's how simple it is. Look, so if somebody comes to my expired listing history, says find out who else this has happened to in your neighborhood. First name, last name, email address, phone number, property address. How many days was your home on the market? 60, 90 days, 90 to 120, 120 to 180. Would you like a phone call? Look, yes or no. Now this is I'm going to delete this form because this isn't the form that I would want to have on my expired page. But I do want to have a form similar to this. I'm just going to clean it up, right? But you guys, that's your lesson. New tool is called Add a Form. Build a page, add a form, any kind of form you want, and that's how simple it is. I just made it look really simple. But don't forget, we're always on your team, you guys. Don't get lost. Just get ideas and share them with us, right? And then we'll help you get your ideas implemented. Thanks for watching. Bye.